It's a $1 billion industry. It's a $2 billion industry. Brilliant opportunity to sell during summer. Brilliant opportunity to sell during winter. You know, these are the things that you need to note down. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sital. You're watching Sital MD. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about analyzing your competitors. Now this is so exciting. Last week we spoke about target customers. This time we're going to talk about how do we analyze our competitor. The first thing is you need to list at least 5 to 7 competitors. The competitor doesn't have to be someone directly, like one person you're competing with. So like if you're coming up with swimwear, you would think of all the swimwear names, but they're like your direct competitors. Who is an indirect competitor? You need to list at least one, if not 2. Like who are the people out there, or is the company out there that you're trying to emulate? So let's say you're not even a tech company, but Apple seems to be an indirect competitor to you, and you feel this way so much because Apple is all about minimalism and the aesthetic. It just makes you feel like if you don't have that particular gadget, then it's just not going to work because it's just Apple. It's only Apple or nothing else. It's Apple or nothing else. So somehow to you it feels like that's also a competitor, and that's a competitor because you want to know that the person who shopped there, or you feel like the person who shops at Apple would shop at your shop, or at least you feel so strongly because you feel I'm an Apple person, I use Apple, so anybody who uses an Apple gadget would buy my product. So that way Apple becomes your indirect competitor because you're not a tech company, you're selling clothes, but Apple can become like an indirect competitor, and it's important to list these two. And then number 2, you need to define the target customers for your competitors. So this, you don't have to go in depth. I know we went into in depth like a lot in the last video where we spoke about target customers and how we come up with their persona, but this time we're just kind of like listing out certain things, like is it someone who works in corporate world, is it someone who just became a mom, is it teenagers, is it school going kids, is it kids that are in university, are they men who like to buy limited edition shoes that's like custom designed or custom painted to suit their personality. So you need to list down the target customers for your competitors, but just very briefly, just so you know who are the people that actually shop with your competitors, if any of them are actually the kind of people that you might be targeting as well. So that's why you need to know. Next, with your target customers, so I would use an Excel sheet if I were you, or you could go to Google's and use an Excel sheet there and try to categorize these things, but it's so important to have them down. And because next we're going to do is, once you have your list of all your competitors, whether indirect or direct, then you need to list the items that they sell, the products and the services that they offer, but in categories. Not like, okay, they sell a white polo, black polo, jacket, wool jacket, linen jacket, denim jackets. No, not like that, but categorize what they sell, like outerwear, which encompasses all outerwear, dresses, jeans, skirt. You categorize, but you don't categorize every single thing. It's just some things that they sell, like kind of like make it into a capsule wardrobe, right? These are the things they sell. Coming up to my next one, which is where you need to summarize their price points. So their price points are from anywhere from $50 to $200. You need that range. That range is very important because that's when you're developing your price points, that's where you can come up with like a competitive price point, as opposed to just running around like a headless chicken and not knowing how to price your items, because pricing your item is very important. Don't just do this in your head. Really get out that Excel sheet, the computer, and write these things down. Next, determine their unique standing point, which is the USP. So what is it that is so unique about this brand? Like there has to be something. There has to be something. Is it the color? Is it the fabric? Is it like, if you're talking about Louis Vuitton and Chanel, I would say heritage. Even Hermes, they're all about heritage. These are brands that were built in the 1800s or early 1900s, and these are brands that have stood the test of time. They've been there for a long time, and they can go like established 1856. You know, they can have those really long established dates, but not all brands that have started like decades of experience are the only ones that are allowed to be luxurious brand. Like Jacquemus is a luxurious brand. It's the price point, of course, it's not as high as ultra luxury brands like Louis Vuitton and Chanel, but they are, I would say their prices is a lot like Coach. They have quite a high price point, but they're not that high. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve to start a luxurious brand. He definitely could. When we're talking about unique standing point, what is it unique about this particular brand? Why is it that you follow this brand, or why is this competitor so unique? And lastly, you need to think about the strategies that your competitors use. Like, what is it, the strategy that they use to sell? What do they do to get people to come and buy their products? Like I would say Jacquemus, look out for him. Like during Fashion Week, around the city where the Fashion Week is being held, he will come up with like these really cool ideas on how to campaign, and he does a lot of guerrilla campaigns, and I would say, yeah, look out for those, or look out for offers, look out out for the shows that he puts up and things like that, because it's always like fun, right? Or like Issey Miyake, for instance, if you were to go to a fashion show, what is it that you can expect out of Issey Miyake? Did you see the last fashion show they had? It was all about dancing in their bouncy, flouncy, pleated clothes and things like that, and it's always something fun to look at. I'm not saying that you have to copy them exactly. You need to know what they're doing, because it gives you ideas on what you can do to be different than them. Next, we're coming up to our SWOT analysis. So what is a SWOT analysis? It's SWOT, S standing for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Take a piece of paper, divide it in 4, and then you're going to write the strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. And this SWOT has to be of your brand, not your competitors, but your brand, the brand that you want to create, that you have sort of named, you have a name for it, and you're really dead on, this is the brand I'm going to start. What are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? Each of these components should have at least 5 points, because these are the things that you're going to work on, and these are the things you're going to push forward to get your brand out there. Strengths can be a geographical advantage. I'm in a place where there's a high population of people who love shopping. That's a brilliant stand. As soon as you start, there's going to be people buying your stuff, so like you can just like keep rolling that meter. Like, it's a bit hard for us in Perth to start a brand, but I'm not saying people in Perth have not started a brand. They have, but they most of the time would travel to Melbourne and Sydney to advertise there, and that can be an advantage too. Like, I've got contacts in Melbourne, I've got contacts in the fashion business, people who can help me with advertising. I have a photographer friend who can take free photo shoots of my brand when I start. So that's actually an advantage, because you save money on paying for a photographer. Or you can say, I have 5 million people following on Instagram. That's a huge advantage. Now, as soon as you start, you can just talk about your brand, and you've already got this following, and chances are that some of them might be your target customer and they will buy from you. So this is an advantage too. Or let's say I know a famous person who's an influencer and they can talk about my brand. That's an advantage right there. I know a makeup artist who can do the makeup for really cheap for me. That's an advantage. I am really good at designing and drawing and working with colors. That's an advantage. So list all your advantages as your strengths, in the S compartment. Now we look at weaknesses. Weaknesses can be, I'm a startup. I don't have that much money to invest in my brand. It's a new concept. I'm unsure if it will pick up. That could be a weakness. You can also write things that you should avoid. Like, let's say you're selling makeup for the LGBTQIA plus community, and you want to do all this whole pride thing, but then you're not gay, but you want to target them. It's okay for them to be that group of people, the LGBTQIA plus, to be your target customer, but you have to be, but that'll be your weakness, that you're not them, and you need to avoid offending your target customer. So let's say you're a female, your target customer are male customers, but then you're a female. So you need to make sure that when you're creating the outfits, you always keep your man like in picture, like you think about him, and then you need to think about opportunities. What are the opportunities that you have? So if you tap into the blue ocean strategy, like we spoke about in our first 2 videos, right? Then that's an opportunity. It's like no one else has this thing out there, or very little people out there have this as a huge opportunity for growth. It's a $1 billion industry. It's a $2 billion industry. Brilliant opportunity to sell during summer. Brilliant opportunity to sell during winter. These are the things that you need to note down. Now, threats would be something like, if it's a red ocean strategy and you pick a, something that's too competitive, or I don't have enough money to start up my brand, or I don't know how to raise money for my brand, or I might have a lot of product that does not sell and I don't have a place to warehouse it. Usually when it comes to threats, it's a lot to do with cash flow and money and financial, how you manage your finance. So that's if you're not very good at managing money, then that's a threat. You can say, I'm so bad at managing money and I have very little money now and my cash flow is really bad, and that's a threat. So write that down, because you can work on it. The reason you write it down is so you can work on it to do better in your business. Because if you don't write this down, you'll keep spiraling down and you'll get disheartened. You won't want to do this business anymore. Whereas if you have it down in writing, you can go like, hang on, I'm bad at this. The reason I wrote it down is so we can work on it to make that threat become something that's not threatening anymore. So how do you do that? You maybe hire an accountant, hire a parent, or someone that you can trust money and who can manage money better. You can hire someone temporarily, you can hire someone full-time, or you can just call in a favor from a friend or someone who you trust that can help you with your money issues, with your financial cash flow and things like that. The reason we write the strength, weaknesses, and the opportunities and the threats is not just like it looks good on paper and everybody else has it in their business plan, but it's something that allows you to look at the pros and cons of your business, so to say, and it's something that helps you to work towards it. Like, if this is your strength and you're going to push forward on your strength and keep pushing forward. Like, I do good designs, I can create something better. Let's say this year you created something and it went horribly wrong. people didn't like it. Look at your strengths. The strength is you do really well at designing. So last year or last design, you might have designed something that people don't like. Don't sweat it, because you still have that strength where you design really cool stuff. You're very good at designing, you're very good at working with colors, and you're very quick with your hands. So you still have your strength. Your strength never goes away. So when you look at this, you can remember and go like, oh, you know what? That's my strength, and that will always be my strength. So I'm going to go back and do something else, and that's my strength, and I'm going to get people to like it. That's it. Sorry about that light that keeps coming up and off and on. It's something wrong with that lamp, and I'm just too lazy to take it into the store to get it replaced. So it does its own thing, unfortunately. So before I go, just let me leave you with this thought. So sometimes in your brand, you're creating stuff, right? And as you're creating stuff, you think, oh, people might want more from me, so I'm going to start creating this and that and this and that. Whatever it is, always keep your target customers on track. Design for your target customer, that one person. Always think, would this person like this? Sometimes you think, oh, it's not really for this person, it's for someone else. No, go back to your target customer. Only create for your target customer, because that allows you to stay on track. Because the more you go off track, you lose your brand message. It's not the same brand anymore. It's weird. Now nobody knows what it is, and it's hard to stay on track. So whatever it is, when you're designing your stuff, always keep your target customer in mind. That way you will not like fly off charts and create something really that does not resonate with the brand well at all. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video and got a lot of value from it. If you did like this video, please hit that like button down so I know, and follow me, subscribe, hit the notification button. The next topic is going to be about setting the tone for your brand. So it's still branding, and we're going to talk about setting the tone for your brand, and this is something that I struggle with, but I'm going to show you some ways on how you can make it a bit easier on setting the tone for your brand. So I'll see you next week, and I hope you enjoy your day and have a really great day and really great week ahead. Thank you so much for watching.